mamas. I don't know if you saw, but last week there was a little bit of a mass psychosis incident that took place across society in America. And funny that I should talk about that right now, because if you are keen at recognizing skylines, you will note that this is not anywhere in America. This is the homeland, baby. This is Edmonton, Alberta. What do you know about that? You know nothing about Dirt Town. You know nothing about Cowtown. So why am I talking about America when I'm on vacation, enjoying time with my family, with my mother? Because I have nothing else to talk about. But the mass psychosis event that I'm referring to is the Super Bowl XVIVVBG. Why do we use Roman numerals when I don't know what Roman numerals are past 4? That's a side tangent. But the NFL announced that the halftime performer, the person that the only thing that people care about the Super Bowl for, is Bad Bunny. And immediately the ground opened up underneath the feet of conservatives across the country. Huh? A Bad Bunny? Who is that hombre? They all said in unison. And immediately people started saying, we need an American to be the halftime performer in Los Estados Unidos. It's only ever been Americans that have performed at the Super Bowl. And that is the crux of the mass psychosis incident. If you're wondering what's wrong with that, well, they just want an American. Let me tell you about Puerto Rico. Bad Bunny is American because Puerto Rico. Sorry, I don't know why I'm trying to be like those white people with like the lawn signs that say like, in this house we believe everyone is equal, that science is real. I know I'm adding like the accent. I'm not even Hispanic in the slightest, but Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory, and that means that every single person that is born in Puerto Rico is a U.S. citizen. Therefore, although most Puerto Ricans would probably, if you ask them, what are you, they would say, I am Puerto Rican, all Puerto Ricans are Americans by default. Now, oh my God, I thought that leaf was a rat. Now has the United States fucked over Puerto Rico in many ways and left it completely alone and neglected it after causing a lot of problems for it? Yes. But you should listen to a historian to talk about that, because I won't describe it properly. But just know that, well, for one thing, taxation without representation. Let's get into that. Let's not get into that. I don't know. I couldn't get into that. I couldn't possibly. But that wasn't the first thing. A second event that happened was this. There was all this discourse going on TikTok because there was this couple from the U.S. that traveled to somewhere in Canada. I'm not sure what city it was, but they were like vacation. They were like some travel vloggers. And they were like let's go to Canada, which, hell yeah, come up here. If you're American and you think, like, do Canadians want Americans here? Like, yes, come. Like, we don't have beef with each other. It's just, like, the tariffs and, like come. Look at all this beautiful nature. Look at the pyramids of Giza. I mean, hello. But this couple, they came somewhere in Canada and immediately made a video talking about some cultural differences that they found between Canada and the U.S.
So we just landed in Canada, and I just want to tell you guys a few things that I've seen thus far in Canada, or experienced thus far in Canada. First and foremost, I did not know that this was an international flight until I missed my flight today. They literally closed the boarding an hour prior to the flight, which is so dumb. So secondly, why is miles per hour here in kilometers? Why is it in kilometers? Thirdly, the gas here is like 128.9. Fourth, y'all, I think they speak French, because there's a lot of French things translated in French or something like that. I don't even know. The accent's a little different. Fifth, why are these groceries so expensive? Some of the things here is way more pricey. Water, 12-pack. I saw a 12-pack for $8. That's it. Y'all can be kidding me. But yeah, so far, we haven't really been anywhere, so we're just kind of like in a shock. And also, there's no Walmarts for real. There's no Walgreens. There's no Target. Like, barely a CVS. I don't know. I don't know what y'all got going on over here.
And it riled up. It riled up in a really scary way, to the point of death threats. Some anger in a lot of Canadians. The first thing that peeved them off was this American couple didn't realize that going to Canada is an international flight, that the United States and Canada are two sovereign nations, even though we're neighbors, two different countries. And then another thing they said was, they were like, how come all the miles are in kilometers per hour? Crazy. And then they're like, we tried looking for Walgreens or CVS, and it said there were none. We don't know where to get like medicine at the drugstore. And it was a lot of just like little, can you call it a microaggression? I don't know if that's a microaggression. I don't think that counts as like a microaggression, but it peeved off quite a few Canadians. And like, if you're not Canadian, you're probably thinking, okay, what's wrong with that? Like, where is the Walgreens? Where is the CVS? The thing is, like, Canada and the US are close in culture and proximity, but we're not the same. We're not the same. We're different. We're different countries, and we have different things. And I think it's beautiful that we're so close and so shared in our cultures for the most part. But to assume that we're the same thing is a misstep. And these two things together, the Bad Bunny incident and so this is not the comfy kind of grass. This is the grass that fucking stabs you in the spinal cord. Those two incidents together really reignited the debate in my mind, and the debate online, that is, are Americans stupid? Are Americans stupid? That is the thesis question that we will be solving today, and I will say right now, before I vex anyone, the answer is no. Americans are not stupid, and the ones that might appear that way, it's not their fault, and they're also not stupid. But why do they appear that way? What is going on? So, of course, all our human knowledge, everything we know, not everything, but like 99% of it, we got from when we grew up, when we were taught in schools and by like our parents and the people that raised us. Like, that is what forms our personality, yada, yada, yada. Duh. But of course, every single school and every single school division, every school system in every other country is different, even within states and communities and municipalities. They're all different, and some are really good, and some are like, for example, if you are in like I think it was like, I was just in Arkansas, and I think they're 47th, 48th, 49th, 50th on the ranking of like education for all the states in the US. Versus, like, I don't know what the top would be, actually. I want to say it's, like, Washington. In my mind, everyone in, like, Washington State is, like, a smart cookie. But beyond that, beyond the states, like, every single country has, like, their own school system. And typically the narrative is that, like, Americans are not taught well. This is not what I believe. I'm just repeating. I'm just summarizing what the international kind of consensus and stereotype is on Americans. That Americans are a little dumb. That Americans are not taught well and not educated well. And there's a third thing. It seems dramatic to go like 1, 2, 3, and I just have 2 points, but those are the main things. Which is ironic, because America is also home to like most of the Ivy League universities in the world. Like, what do you mean you have Harvard, but then you have like school systems in Arkansas that don't even teach the kids like what the names of the provinces are directly above them? So I was thinking for a while, like, is it just an American problem? And because of that, is that why Americans appear as and then I realized no, because in my own life and in pretty much probably every single person who is listening to this, you have been failed by your education system in some way or another. Every like education system will always teach you about like your immediate surroundings first, okay? Like, you're not gonna like go to kindergarten and they're gonna like talk to you about like politics in Myanmar. It would be awesome if they did, but they probably won't. They're probably going to teach you about, like, if you're in the US, like your state, and then the country, and the 1776 of it all, and the Constitution. I'm guessing. I went to Canadian school. When I went to Canadian school, it was a lot different, and I'm finding out in ways that I didn't think I'd realize growing up. So, for example, in history class, in social studies class, I was taught about like a multitude of things, but like it was very, very hyper local and hyper specific. I learned pretty much everything you could learn about every like First Nations group, tribe in Alberta, in Canada, and even the ones that like swoop into the US. Like, that was the education we got, and because of that, like I know so much about this land and this ground around me that raised me, which is really good, which I'm very grateful to have had that education. However, I also don't know anything about the American Civil War. I don't know. I think we literally spent maybe 3 days on like American history, and then I realized to myself, oh, I am in the exact same position as Americans that are only taught about America. So it made me do some soul searching, and I realized I had the empathy button switch. Oh my god, I'm having a stroke outside. That is probably the experience for most people. Like, people in Sweden are probably going to learn about Swedish history and not like the First Nation tribes in Canada, just like the people in the US are not going to learn about Swedish history, and vice versa. So maybe, and it sounds crazy that I'm like defending the American school system, but maybe it's not as bad as people are saying it is, and maybe we are all in the same boat, and maybe it's just a little bit more exacerbated when Americans don't know. Like, Here's the thing. The only thing that vexes me is like when, like, I've met, I can go up to people in Europe or Asia, not saying everyone, but it has happened more times out there than in the US, and they'll say, oh, where are you from? And I'll say, I'm from Alberta, and they will know where that is. They'll at least know it's in Canada, or they will be like, oh, like Banff, and like kind of go off of that. I have literally talked to people that live in Washington State, a state that almost borders Alberta, like literally almost borders it by like that much, who don't even know where it is. They're like, what's an Alberta? Is that like a city? Oh, that's like a city, right? We're neighbors. What? Imagine you didn't know your neighbor's name. I know I'm not going to say her name. But imagine you fucking didn't. Imagine you didn't know your neighbor's name. What the hell? And like, sorry, back to Bad Bunny, like the whole Bad Bunny conundrum. It also isn't just like, it isn't just knowledge of outside of America that is like a little, that the education system perhaps failed Americans on, because how do you not know that Bad Bunny is American? Like, if you say you love America, you need to realize that includes all of America. That includes all the territories. You need to realize that means that there are Americans that will never know English, and they are full-blooded Americans, because that's what Puerto Rico is, baby. It just blew my mind that I remember who's like organizing it, but they're throwing like a whole anti Super Bowl like competition halftime performance, where it's like a rival halftime performance with like Kid Rock headlining, because, and it's so, the cognitive dissonance is so crazy, because it's like, how many non-Americans have performed at the Super Bowl? Like I think it's like close to 10, like British people. So it's like, say what you really mean. You can't say the issue is that they're not American, because they are, quite frankly, just American. You just don't like that they're not, I don't know, is it the no English thing? get learning, because Puerto Rico is in America. So I don't know. Like, I know the funny thing is, like, whenever I see this, like conservatives make like this rival media, like when they make, like, I think it was like the Daily Wire, like Ben Shapiro's what is it called, like a media company, like they made some movie about like I want to say it was like someone like faking being trans or something, and it looked like, I didn't even watch it, but like just the cinematography, like just looking at the trailer, I'm like, this looks like a Snapchat show. Like, it looks so fucking bad. And I don't know. I've also seen like a side discourse of people saying like people on the right and conservatives like can't make good art. And to which they always say like, okay, well, people on the left can't make good art, or they can't like do comedy, or comedy is like illegal, blah blah blah. But like, it's so funny because I feel like so many times conservatives like genuinely can't make good art, and I'm so curious what their halftime show will look like. I almost want to tune in, except I don't think I could listen to a second of Kid Rock. Who is Kid Rock? I feel like I had a song of his on my iPod once. Guys, I'm like low-key getting sunburnt. I might have to get the fuck out of here. That almost makes me think, okay, maybe there is a little bit of a disconnect there, because I feel like people in okay, I can't like generalize the entirety of countries outside of the US, but like I would say that maybe they're taught a little bit more globally than Americans are taught, because I think that a lot of at least growing up, like what I would hear from like my cousins that grew up in Texas, like it really felt like their kind of curriculum and school system taught them like a very nationalist, like America is the center of the universe type education system. I am assuming that the American curriculum spends a lot of time on American history specifically, but not much else. Did y'all know that we burned down the White House? That Canadians burnt down the White House? Clock that. But I don't know. I feel like there's like two kinds of people. So I've been in the US for a hot minute now. I've met so many people from all different states, and I feel like there's kind of two different people. There are the first one is like the people that are unwilling to learn. The people, like, I know people who I've known for like half a decade, who if a gun was to be pointed to their head and they had to say where I was from, they would say like the Providence of Allegra. I'm not even kidding. Like they don't know the difference between like a province and a state. They don't know when I say like I'm from Alberta, they don't know if that's like a city, a state. But once again, when I look back at like my education, like we obviously learned we had to memorize all the provinces like the same way Americans have to memorize like all the different states. But I don't recall any time where like I think it was like optional learning to be like, okay, like you can go look up the different states and like how they came to be if you want, but it wasn't like we were ever quizzed on like name a state that starts with a W, Wyoming. Like that was never the case. And so like I guess why would I expect that Americans would learn what the provinces were? I mean, I would hope at least like know what a province is, and just, well, I mean, it's basically just like a state. I have that built into my brain. Like when people are like, wait, what's like a province? I'm like, anyways. So what is the solution to that? Because obviously, like, you know, growing up in school, you have such limited time to learn the entirety of all human knowledge that pertains to you. So, you know, like the curriculum has to be like picky and choosy about like what is relevant and what you will need to know. That's why there's entire gaps and chunks missing, like how the fuck do you pay your taxes, that they just don't have time to teach you in school, which is kind of crazy because we have 12 years. So you would think there'd be a way to like have. These leaves sound like mice. I don't know what is going on. Like, you'd think they could have, like, it's tax day today. So I understand. Like, it's not realistic to learn everything. But what my kind of mantra is ever since, obviously graduating fucking 20 billion years ago, has been to try and get more of an understanding of what is immediately around me than like what I was taught in school. So like, obviously we don't have any control on like what we learn in school, and by the time you're done like classes for a day, like you don't want to go and learn more a lot of the time. That's why I find myself like, now that I haven't been in like an education setting for a long time, I find this hunger for knowledge all around me. And my Wikipedia screen time is bigger than my fucking like Instagram screen time because of it. I love learning now, and I hope you can love learning soon too. Since what? Okay, train nerds. Just saw the Valley Line in Edmonton for the first time ever. That's kind of beautiful. I want to ride her. Anyways, sorry. So that's an example. Learning knowledge that pertains to you directly. So like, one thing you can do is you can open your map. Like, thought exercise. Put this podcast into mini player and open your map and look at what is around you in like 100-mile radius, or if like 1,000-mile radius. Look at all the provinces and states around you. And I have to admit, I wish I did this when I lived in LA, because if you put a gun to my head and ask me what the Mexican state is below California, okay, I think I know. I feel like I know. Baja California, and then I think there's Baja California Sur. It's like it looks like a penis, but it's like split in half, and I think the top part is Baja California, and then the bottom part is Baja California Sur. But like, even beyond that, like I spent years in LA, and I didn't even know the fucking states below me. Like, that's crazy. Like, I like, that is kind of crazy. And so like, I sit here and I like complain and moan that like someone in Washington doesn't know where the fuck Alberta is. Meanwhile, I don't even know what like the Mexican states are directly underneath Los Angeles, California. So like, guilty for that too. But you can fix that so easily in like 30 minutes. In 30 minutes, just open your map, take a look around. Is there any states, cities you haven't been to that are like 2 hours away? And like forget about borders for a second. Not to lib out on you for a second, but just forget that a border fucking exists for a moment. And look beyond the northern border. What is in Alberta? What is a Saskatchewan? It took Chapel Rowan to say, I'm moving to Saskatchewan, for some of y'all to even fucking know that it exists. And you live in Minnesota. What do you mean you live in Minnesota and you don't know what Saskatchewan is? So look that up. Look up regional delights of Regina, Saskatoon. Look up what a Saskatoon berry is. If you live in Texas, check out what's going on in the Mexican state below Texas. And I'm gonna pull the ignorance card because I've never lived in Texas, so I don't know what Mexican state is below Texas. But just try and broaden your horizons. I'm really feeling it on this like hill right now. Like I literally didn't even know that, like, this very ground I used to walk on, in Alberta, parts of Alberta used to be part of Louisiana, the state of Louisiana. Like, how crazy is that? And like, listen, there is so much going on in the world, so many geopolitical things going on in the world at all the fucking time. And it's so overwhelming. And you can try, and I hope you try, to understand all of it. But if it's so overwhelming that you kind of get like paralysis of choice, I would say just start small. Just like look up the history of, at least bare minimum, like where the ground that you walk on, who was there before. Learn about the Native Americans that lived before you there, and then learn about the history of the places around, the history of the state or province or region that you're in. And I don't know, I just assume you're all in America. I always forget, one thing that trips me up so much when I go to Europe, like when I'm in France or like the United Kingdom, the British people are the native people there. That's so, like that. Whoa. So, I don't know. It just, and it, like, once you get that hunger for knowledge, like, you just start wanting to learn more and more and more. And, it's fun, guys. It's fun, and it actually feels like your brain is getting a massage and being able to go, oh my God, this grass, like, dried my hand out so much I look like a dead person. As you learn more things about, like, your community, the city you live in, you can, like, point things out. You can be like, oh, this street through the middle of this city is the ancient trading route that they used to use, or fucking, I don't know, that was such a bad example, but it is fun. It's fun, and like it's okay. I'm trying not to be harsh at all, but it's just not, it's not cool to be like I don't know anything, like like that's corny. Be like, learn something, be passionate about something. To just like stroll through life and not even know like what the fucking ground you walk on it. Okay, I've done that 4 times since starting this episode, just picking up grass, and it's all blowing on my fucking jacket. Also, really not loving being back in Canada, the whole vibe where you have to wear like a goddamn puffer jacket, and then like you're cooking, dying of heat stroke by 3 p.m. What is that about? I don't know, like, back to my previous point, like, there's this podcast I listen to where, and God bless them, but the hosts are so insanely, like, ignorant and just don't know, like, shit about shit. Like, it, like, I don't want to say any specific examples to, like, I don't want to start any drama or anything like that, or talk down on their name, but, like, it is really crazy. Like, they'll be talking about the city that they live in, and, like, not even... Okay, sorry. I'm being too negative, and I'm gonna stop. Who is calling me from Elk Grove Village, Illinois? Hello?
Hello, this is roadside assistance. If you are experiencing a vehicle breakdown, please call us back to speak with a representative. If you would like to adjust your notification preferences or opt out, the instructions are available. I am thankful for your kindness and wish you a wonderful day. Hello. This is roadside assistance.
And he just goes again. I am thankful for your kindness. Whoa. Why is that kind of beautiful? Brother, I'm thankful for your fucking kindness too. To close, no, once again, Americans are not stupid. A lot of them are just failed by their education system, as many other people are. There's no well, I don't know, I guess there's like some kids that get like the fucking $200,000 tuition for like their middle school and are like, hello, and then they speak like full like fluent Chinese. That's what freaks me out. Like meeting, I've met like a lot of overachievers since I like moved to the US, and like kids that like grew up in like international school in Dubai or like Beijing, and they just are like fluent in Chinese. I'm like, whoa. Like my public Catholic school mind is always befuzzled by that, but good for them. Fuck, I can't speak Chinese. I can't even speak French, and that's the other official language of this place. I look crazy on this mountain. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up. No, you got just broaden your horizons. Being dumb is not a permanent thing. Unless you like unless you get like 8 back-to-back concussions, being dumb is not a permanent fucking thing. Sorry, was that mean to the CTE people, to the NFL players? I'm sorry. You're not dumb either. You just got bonked a few many times. But just open up Wikipedia. Even just fucking read the Wikipedia article of the day. How fun is that they have an article of the day? Hit the I would say hit the random article button, but it'll just be like, this is like a train station in Thailand, and it's like, anyways, hope you guys have a good Thursday, and come visit Edmonton. No, I won't say that, because I think a lot of y'all will be disappointed. There's actually not much to do here, but it's a nice place to live, until a month from now when this is all frozen over and hellish. Okay, love y'all. Bye.